On today's Minute of the Apes, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish there was a way we could some way communicate so you'd understand me.
Exercise with an ape maker, human down. Then talks. Loving with a divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace.
The only good human is a dead human.
And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please, God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time, and I'm excited. It's Friday. It's minute 50.
Yay.
That was Sean.
It's been a pandemic, but we're back at it on a Friday.
Hey, dude drinking right now that's by the bat phone. What's your name?
Richard.
Richard. You kind of sound like my nephew who is probably about 16 when he talks. He's like, hey,
I'm cool now, Uncle Todd.
Uncle Todd, hey, how's it going? Every time he does that, it's like, you got to stop that. You're kind of killing me.
Uncle Todd, I shaved this morning, but I think I need to do it again now.
All right, we're at minute 50. Tell us what's going on, Sean.
All right, we're going to start minute 50 with Caesar contemplating the recent events, and ends with Caesar saying it is a myth that human beings are kind.
Let's listen to this myth-tastic minute from Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
I wish there was some way we could communicate so you'd understand that
I understand, Mr. MacDonald. Yes, I'm the one they're looking for.
I never believed it. I thought you were a myth.
Well, I'm not. But I will tell you something that is. The belief that human beings are kind.
As in minute 50, we have a courtyard worth of gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, imported apes, Caesar, a planet worth of humans, and no Armando anymore. No Mondo.
Do you see how smart I am? I predicted yesterday that Caesar was going to talk. And look, I'll be damned if he doesn't talk.
Well, technically, he was talking in the beginning of the movie.
Shh, it doesn't matter. It's just he's talking for McDonald's now.
Technically, he talked in the other previous movie when he said, Mama.
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 When he had the Tuscan Raider racking, Mama, Mama.
Back and forth.
Uh-huh.
So, am I the only one that imagines that every time McDonald's alone with an ape, he says this exact same speech to every one of them? I wish I could communicate with you and you could understand it. He just walks around a corner with an orangutan. I wish you could communicate and you could understand me.
Were this a David Fincher film, it would be real dark, and he would actually be practicing that line in a mirror, saying it over and over.
So for as much as I said that I liked McDonald had a lot of presence in the earlier moments when he's kind of walking back and forth, his plea to Caesar felt a little hollow. I didn't feel the power in what he was asking Caesar at the moment. But I do get some great shots of Roddy thinking it over. Like there was really, really nice moments. Again, we're kind of at an odd angle. The camera's down here looking at him, and you see him just kind of blink and then decide to come forward. I just wish McDonald had a little more
gravitas.
Something in his voice, something a little more compelling to make me feel like I can trust him. The lines there, I just don't feel like the delivery was quite there.
And I think that, again, it goes back to this escalation I'm asking for. There is no beginning to final point of him wanting to be I'm going to take this ape away to safety. There's nothing that's gotten him there. And if there was even urgency as he's walking down this hall, if he's doing things like that, and finally, after he's spoken on the phone, he's like, God, I just wish I could make you understand. There's nothing. That's why everybody seems flat. The governor's flat. He's flat. What's not flat, though, is Roddy's reaction. And just with that camera tight, a very long lens, so we throw the background out of focus. It's only his face. He's the only thing we're supposed to be focusing on. And when he finally gets that point of, I'm going to tell him, he not only closes his eyes, but he knows that opening his jaw adds for one little bit more of expression that makeup might not allow otherwise. And so he closes his eye and opens his jaw right before he speaks. And it's a beautiful little bit of working that makeup. That's to your point, working through the prosthetics that don't allow him to move his brow, that don't allow him to, pull his cheeks in and out or anything like that. Just these small things. And you see everything happening in his face just through his eyes and a little bit of jaw movement. And it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. You can see him thinking about it. You can see him deciding to do it, and almost kind of not desperation. What's what I'm looking for? He just seems like I've got to trust somebody. I'm alone. It's wonderful. It is, and Roddy shows why he goes on, to be remembered. And this is unfair to McDonald. The guy that played McDonald, he can also just not have chosen good parts. But Roddy's such a good actor that there are reasons time and time again in the films he's in. Obviously, he's making a stamp on what he brings to the character. And the one that hit me the most is, like I said, with that opening of the mouth to breathe in, right? Because we all have to breathe before we speak. But when you exaggerate that moment, that builds anticipation. And so when he finally speaks, it just, boom, it's great.
They are doing a good job on these tight shots not to let us see past the fake teeth. We're not seeing teeth underneath it and so on. They're doing a decent job of trying to obscure the fact that there's another mouth inside the
But now we get the human equivalent of the gape ape, though. When they zoom in on McDonald, whenever he gets a realization, it just my eyes are a little bit wider.
Well,
he should have been breathing heavier, maybe take a step back or something. But instead, it's just wide eyes.
I actually put the blame on Thompson for the direction, because once again, camera stuff is everything. What I kind of felt, so the camera goes from Roddy and it pushes to the left and they rack the lens so that we can get McDonald in focus. Why was that camera not pulling back and down so we kept Cornelius there and then got a two shot of the two of them? Then what he's doing and his reaction to it are tied. It's all together. I just these unmotivated camera moves occasionally are killing me in this movie.
Well, yeah. Dane's direction for this is after he says, "I understand, Mr. McDonald." The angles on McDonald, stares at Caesar, and the description is thunderstruck. So if you ever wanted to know if thunderstruck existed in 1970 as a word, it did.
Yeah.
Just a lot of thunderstruck. Oh, where'd that come from?
I guess he was thunderstruck.
He's supposed to look thunderstruck. But it was a little lacking. I'm just going to open my eyes and look in shock. Exactly, Sean. Yeah.
But I think that, again, if you take that shot, instead of letting it pan up to him, that's where it fails. The camera movement fails the actor. The actor doesn't fail the moment, because that reaction that he gives reads totally different. If we see the two of them together in a very still tight shot, long lens is going to pull them together. It reads totally different. But when you push on his face, what the are you going to expect unless he goes, what?
Yeah, or you have the cliche, one tear rolls down an eye because, oh my God, it's finally happened.
Yeah, you could.
That would have been good. Yeah, like just if we could see something well up in his eyes, that just lets him know that this is.
But yeah, like if he started breathing heavy, if he had taken a step back, but instead it's just the reaction is, I'm stoic, and the camera zooms in on me.
I even think, it would have been kind of nice if instead of just speaking before he spoke, if if Caesar reached out and took McDonald's hand.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
steady him to prepare him.
Spoke,
yeah.
And then the camera, then you could cut on that action, and then the camera can go from the hand up. And if you put in the tear at that point, oh my God, then
this level of truth that's suddenly on McDonald is humongous.
Well, I mean, particularly when Caesar delivers a line, yes, I'm the one they're looking for, and he now at that moment needs help.
Yes.
He's asking for help. Now, you had mentioned...
also, why didn't Caesar stand up? He's been
not be hunched over anymore.
That would have been powerful, too. Oh, my goodness, yes. So we now get the moment that you wanted of tension of things approaching.
People marching.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they do no urgency with it. They just show one shot of them walking down a hall.
Right. And again, the description was for Culp, Hoskins, and the two policemen to continue the descent. Instead, they just decided to go with Culp and the two policemen as the doors slide open, and they begin to walk through. We have not seen doors slide open yet, have we? Was that maybe when they went down the stairwell, the doors slid open?
No, I don't think so. Tunnels or normal doors.
This is the first time I think we've seen doors open in this tunnel. I could be wrong.
I want to jump back to, you saying that I finally get my shot of people coming in. First off, I think the shot choice is wrong in this because it's a higher side angle looking down, which minimalizes them.
It is. We see the phone on the side for some reason. We're supposed to connect the two phones together somehow.
We should have. This should have been a low angle for them to be ominous.
There's no urgency to it. They're just walking down a corridor as if they're going to go file some paperwork or something. Instead of racing to go get this monkey that's talking now, we've got to kill it.
And so to go back to this whole idea of why you should have you could have with the second unit or even your first unit shot minute upon minute of troops marching. I want you to go back to, and I use it because I love it, the original Star Wars on the Death Star. How many shots are there of stormtroopers walking the hall? We know their presence, and we know our heroes are what it tells you, you're inevitably going to run into something. They're everywhere. Yeah. If they had gone out and said, today we're going to do 2 minutes of walking shots, and that's all, and it's going to be boots. It's going to be it's going to be in different situations. They could have intercut that throughout here, and it would have this presence that there's a militarized element that is always there bearing down on you.
I do wonder if the reason they struck Hoskins was not because the actor wasn't available, because they wanted that officer and two police officers behind them.
Yeah,
that kind of scene that may have been a conscious choice for this too. They didn't have the actor. So we're going to do the officer and the two police officers or the two military officers behind them to give that kind of more ominous, familiar, militaristic, Nazi kind of style to the movement. That's why Hoskins might have been struck.
And according to Amazon, our two policemen are Paul Comey and John Dennis. We haven't named out some background people in a long time, but there they are. That's their claim to fame. They are police officers that sort of lackadaisically walk along in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
We're middle-aged Nazis. Yeah.
I'd watched that shot. Okay, so again, I'm trying to think of why it's a high-angle shot. Okay, so your sets are two tubes that come towards you and to the right, and you choose to shoot. I would imagine, if I'm guessing how that set's built, there's nothing. The first tube they walk down, there's actually nothing to the left.
It's wild there. Yeah.
So why didn't they put the camera to the left, low angle, so that we actually
move to the lower and left and down? Yeah.
So you're seeing more detail instead of this weird pan that makes them look inconsequential. They look small in the frame, and they need to be huge and ominous and terrifying. God, this is a dude that, again, look at all the smart choices he made with. Inside the governor's room with the motivated shots, the wide-angle lenses, the people standing in front of him. And then I think this day he decided to take that day off.
He did. All right, we got to get this shot real quick. Come on. Just walk, and we're done.
But we at least get McDonald and Caesar now in is McDonald now taking
debate about mankind and being kind, but we haven't really get to debate yet. We just started.
But is he now assuming the Armando position in this of the human counterpart to Caesar that he no longer has?
Well, quite possibly, but again, not knowing the end of this movie, I don't know if the apes overthrow humans at the end, so he is just a means to an end, or if he's going to be an ally or what. I don't know.
Definitely leaves us thinking. So, I mean, this is one of those minutes that there's not a lot that truly happens.
Yeah,
yet.
they were just leaving, getting on the phone, and seeing the Gestapo